Welcome back to the Hive Doctor, your beekeeping mentor. It's my job to take the guesswork out of beekeeping. Today I'm going to be showing you how to transfer bees from a swarm trap into full-sized equipment. Plus, going ahead and setting them up for the honey flow because we're right at the beginning within our first week of our honey flow here. So we've got a lot going on. I'm going to show you how to do that today, so stick around. All right, so first of all, what I've got here on this setup is one of my hive stands in a yard of about 16 hives. Right here is an established colony, and right here is an established colony. We won't be working with those today. This is a swarm I brought in as well, so we're actually just filling in the fourth spot on this with a swarm that I caught in this swarm trap from one of my other apiary locations. So whenever I catch a swarm in a location, I close them up and I transport them to a different location. And here's the equipment we're going to be putting them into today. I've not looked in here yet, so whatever we find in here today is going to be as much a surprise to you as it is to me. My swarm traps consist of two 5-frame nuke boxes put together, and I've only got frames in the top. The bottom is hollow, and if we don't transfer them in time, especially during a honey flow, the bees will start to build comb down into that hollow section. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna crack the hive cover, go ahead and give them some smoke, and they're already coming out. Hopefully I won't have to put on any gear, but I have it in the truck just in case I need it. I'll take this off gently. Lots of bees on the underside of the hive cover. I'm gonna give a quick glance for the queen. I don't see her. Most of the bees are on this side in these 4 frames. Not really on this frame here because this is a plastic frame that's not been drawn out yet, but there's a lot of bees in here. So what we want to do is smoke these girls a little bit, not too much, because swarms can be kind of touchy. We want them to stay, and sometimes a swarm might settle in and decide that it's too much of a disturbance, and they'll actually swarm again and go somewhere else. So I'm going to pick this up, set it on the ground behind me where I can work it, and then move the equipment over that they're going to be transferred into. To make this easier on myself, I'm going to remove 4 frames. One of these frames will not be transferred because it's just bare plastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, right in the middle of my box, which is where you want to put them, because that's where the brood nest is structured in a beehive. Oh, and they've got a good weight to them, so there's a lot of honey there. All right, here's my bottom board. This is not one of my modified bottom boards. I haven't made enough of those yet. So I just grabbed an old one that I had sitting around. Sometimes you gotta do that in beekeeping. Just work with what you have. All right, that's in place. My deep hive body is now in place. Frames are out of the way. Now it's time to start transferring. I'm gonna remove that bare frame. There's bees working on it, but again, I don't want this. I want to give them a frame that they've already got a head start on. So I'm going to give them one of these drawn out frames with comb already. Ow. I just got stung in the back. Oh, it doesn't feel good. Oh my gosh. Whew. I'm going to smoke them a little bit more. Working in on my next frame. Nice and gentle, nice and slow. Now you see how the bees are hanging off the bottom here? That's called festooning. Bees festoon. In other words, hold hands and create large webs of bees while they're building out beeswax or honeycomb. They're starting to build on the bottom of this frame, which is not what we want. So we're getting in this hive at a good time. Now this is a homemade frame. There's no foundation in it. I allowed the bees to build their own. I'm going to be putting that right there, making sure it's spaced well so they have a bee space to come and go between the top bars. A little more smoke, especially on the parts of the frames where I need to grab so I can pick up the frame without squishing bees or getting stung. And as you do this, you just want to do a quick inspection to see if the queen is laying yet. You don't need to find her, you just need to find evidence of her. So far, what I'm seeing is that they've deposited a lot of nectar in here. When a swarm leaves its home, it gorges itself. They gorge their bellies with honey so that wherever they go to, they've got the fuel to create and draw out beeswax so that the queen can begin laying eggs immediately, because it's all dependent on their survival. Again, just another frame of food, which concerns me a little bit. We've got one more frame to go, and I'm hoping it's got brood on it. It is possible that we're transferring this a little bit early and the queen hasn't had time to start laying. But one thing's for sure, when a swarm has started laying eggs, they're gonna stay. You don't have to worry about them leaving. And there is a very good example of bees festooning. There's a ton of them just hanging off the bottom here. I'm gonna shake. Quick inspection, mostly just nectar. Judging by their demeanor, I'm gonna say they have a queen. She just hasn't begun to lay. Now that I've got all the frames in here from the swarm trap, I'm gonna space them evenly. There's only one thing left to do before I close this hive up, and I'm going to show you exactly what that is in just a second here. All right, so right here we've got all the frames removed, obviously, but there's still a ton of bees in here, and we need to get these bees into the box we're transferring this swarm into. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to explain it before I show it. We pick up this box and we tap it one firm time on the ground. All the bees will fall to the bottom of the box. Then we tilt the box, tap the corner, and all the bees will go into one corner. I'm going to pick that up and then dump it over the hive, over the top bars, just like you would a bucket of water. As you can see, the bees that I've already transferred in here, they're actually quite calm over the top bars. They're accepting this as their new home so far. And I'm going to give them a little bit of smoke. I'm going to also smoke the bees in the swarm trap a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to once, twice, and the queen could be in here. And then dump just like that, and a bunch of garbage is going to come with it, like small bits of wax and dust that they've been cleaning out of the frames. They'll clean that up again and deposit it on the ground. All right, now there's still bees in here. So what I'm just going to do is do a quick glance for the queen. I don't see her in here, so I'm going to leave this near the hive, because eventually these bees will fly out in search of their queen. They'll find her pheromone scent in this box, so they will leave this box and join this one. I'm going to smoke these bees just a little bit so that I can put a queen excluder on them. Now this is the part where I go ahead and set them up for the honey flow. We've got plenty of room to grow in here. I'm going to take this box, already full of frames, and I'm going to use this deep hive body as a honey super, because all of my medium honey supers are being used right now. I ran out. I don't have enough, but I've got plenty of deep hive bodies, and they'll work just fine for gathering honey. And for some reason, I've got 11 frames in this box. It's a 10 frame box. So we're going to take one out, space these evenly, put a hive cover on it, and we're done. Then you want to leave them alone for at least a couple of weeks. Give the queen a chance to start laying. Remember, minimal disturbance is the key in beekeeping. I know you're probably thinking, but you just shook a bunch of bees into a box. Now that we've got these girls situated, I've taken the 5 frames that were originally in the deep, not being used. I needed to take those out to make room for the frames from the swarm trap. So those bare empty frames, I've reloaded my trap with. So now the goal with this is to go back and hang it up in anticipation of catching another swarm. If you have any questions about how to catch a swarm or swarm traps, or you want to see me how I hang these, let me know in the comments below. Drop me one of these and tell your friends about the Hive Doctor. I'll see you in the next video.